Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony, and welcome to another edition of BNA Sports Talk. So, I don't know what's been going on over the past couple of days. I've just kind of been so close to recording something, so I just want to break the streak of not talking. So, I'm going to start talking about sports and basically what's going on. I love Strong Opinion Sports, and I made a video praising him about Daniel Jones, his opinion, because he watches film. And a thing I got to say about him, one of my critiques is, and this is with people in general, they say one thing and they repeat it over and over again, and then they fill up an 8-minute segment with complete bullshit. Like they're saying the same two things for 8 minutes in a row. They may have like an anecdote story, and then that's completely it. I just did that. I just said the same thing twice, but then I move on and talk about something different. I don't talk about the same thing over and over, because on TV, people watch it. They're not eyes glued to the TV. They're on their phone. They're doing certain things. But if you're on YouTube and, I could click on to something else that I really want to watch, and especially with all these videos on the side, I don't want to hear you talking about the same thing over and over 50 times. And I think you'll notice it if you try to notice it, if you pay attention to it. A lot of sports commentators, including Strong Opinion Sports, I think he has a different approach. I like how he's a little bit different, but he says the same things over and over again, and he doesn't really explain what he means. He kind of just says an opinion, just repeats it over and over. He doesn't give he doesn't really give that much analysis. And for being a channel called Strong Opinion Sports, more recently, he hasn't really been giving strong opinions. He's been like, oh yeah, this guy may be good, may not be good. That's the problem with labeling yourself as like Strong Opinion Sports, because all of a sudden, if you don't do strong opinions anymore, that's not part of your brand. So it's better off to be named as like, nothing too serious. It's just the board and arrow, even though it's not really working out for me. He has 90,000 subscribers, but I think you know what I'm saying. Like, if you have a channel called The Hottest Takes, and then all of a sudden you start not really talking about hot takes, you just start kind of rambling on about things that everyone thinks. There's that. So the next thing I want to talk about is my best value bets. They don't really get a lot of support and that many views, but I love doing them. Like, I love placing bets and saying, this team is going to be great. So I have 2 bets going on right now, and another one in the major leagues that are kind of successful. One of them isn't. So I bet the Cleveland Indians. I made a video about it. The Cleveland Indians were 9-1 odds. Then they were 11-1 odds to win the division, the AL Central. And then they were 13-1 odds. I didn't pick up the 13-1 because I already put enough money on the 11-9, and I'm like, I don't want to triple down on it. But I bet them at virtually 10-1 because I bet $3 on both. I'm a person that bets $100. But I looked at their schedule. I said, you know what? There's plenty of things. The Twins pitching is really important down the stretch. And what's happened is the Twins pitching has demoralized that offense. That historic offense on pace for like 60 more home runs than the previous record of 260. I mean, that's like 25% more than the previous record. And the Cleveland Indians traded Trevor Bauer, but they got a hero, and not hero, but they got a personality in Yasiel Puig. And now they are in first place in the division after, I would say, 2 months for me posting that video saying the Cleveland Indians will win the division. At that point, they were 11 or 12 games out. I waited until they were like 8 games out. It wasn't looking too good in the beginning. They stayed out 11 games. And when we started catching up, then I posted the video. But I took the bet when they were 11 games back. And this is what I love about betting. I love the trying to find hidden value between certain things, because these sports bettors aren't looking at every single thing. They're not looking at schedule. They're not looking at injuries. They're not looking, and it kind of makes you get away, to do certain things. That's what happens with the NFL preseason. They don't really spend a lot of time looking at these bets. I like futures bets because you can look at it in totality. But yeah, so what I'm doing now is I'm creating a spreadsheet of NFL odds. I'm actually going all in this season. I'm creating a value of within division, conference, Super Bowl matchups, everything like that to track the value. And I'm predicting when the value is going to go up or down so I can, finagle and make some money here. Because in the first week, if a team is playing a game that they should win, their odds are going to go up. But if they're playing a team that they should lose against, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until they lose against that team. Their value goes down, and then I pick them because I think they're going to start getting on a roll. Because the market doesn't really react to what's going to go on in the future. They react to what already happened. And the Cleveland Indians, all of a sudden now they're getting on a hot streak. They're 2-0 against Minnesota. They're trying to take this third game to get one game ahead. Right now they're tied, but they have the tie break. And yeah, the Minnesota has the easiest schedule down the stretch, so I may pick up them as a security blanket, because now that the value, it's all fluctuating values. Now let's say Minnesota is plus 100, so you put $6 in and you get $6. Well, I put in 6, I get 6 back if Minnesota ends up taking it. So a $12 investment would get me, I'll finagle it. I'm not sure if the math really checks out right now, but you want to buy low and sell high stocks. That's what I love about baseball future bets. With individual bets, it's kind of like you never really get value. Over under bets, unless you're really confident, like the Texans, their over under is 8. I took it a lot. The Miami Dolphins not to make the playoffs, even if it's minus 1,000, I'm taking it. That sort of thing, because I want to be secure. I want to be safe. And I like those bets. I like the safe bets. I like the safe bets, and then the trying to find value with the long term. So I have some NFL bets right now. I'll put them up on screen. I think a lot of them, but I think what I do with betting is I try to find undervalued teams, and then I try to find teams that on the higher echelon that I think are right value. And then I do combinations between the really low value and some high values. I take some two low values, just in case, and then that inflates to overextend. Like, for example, the Falcons and the Jaguars are two teams that I think are great value but are really undervalued right now. Not too much the Jaguars, but the Falcons are like 3,000 to 1. The Jaguars are like 3,500 to 1. You combine them, a $4 bet gets me 1140. Or something like that. Then I also have the Falcons versus the Jets. The Jets haven't made a Super Bowl in 50 years. After this year, it'll be 50 years. It's the 50-year anniversary. But I have them with the Falcons, and a $1 bet gets me $6.85 or something like that. And then I also have my Super Bowl prediction from last year. Well, my Super Bowl prediction from last year were the Falcons and Chiefs. But this, one of them, or I think it was Colin Cowherd's, was Falcons Steelers. I have that at pretty good value. So I try to find good value like that. And I'm going to keep track with odds. And I think it's a really fun game to play. That's what I really enjoy about sports betting. And as far as my other MLB picks, because I didn't forget about that, I didn't get too sidetracked. I also bet the Mets 150 to 1 to win the division. And right when I took it, a week later, they went on a losing streak. I was like, oh, look at this. It probably was like 200 to 1. I didn't really keep track. I didn't look at it. And all of a sudden, they had an easy part of their schedule that I anticipated coming up. And all of a sudden, it was just win after win after win. They won 14 out of their last 15, the biggest 15-game stretch out of any team this season. And now they play the Nationals, and now they play the Braves. A big comeback yesterday, so that bet's looking good. But they're still 8 games out. They need to sweep the Braves. They need to, no matter what. 2 out of 3, it wouldn't be devastating, if they win 2 out of 3, because they get 1 game up with in total. But they need to at least win 2 games, ideally sweep, and then split the rest of the series with the Nationals. Right now, they're half a game out of a playoff spot, but I don't need that. I need the division. And what's good about it is that there's so many teams that are close that the Mets aren't going to be complacent with the wild card. They're going to be like, oh, we need a win, and we win and win. And eventually they may get the Braves. But it's a 150 to 1 odds. I put $1 on it. And yeah, there's that. And then I also put a bet on the Padres for some reason. It was like 4,500 to 1. I put a $1.50 bet on it. We don't mention that. I'm thinking about some other bets. I also have a Tampa Bay Rays bet. Every single time I take a bet, the value somehow goes down or up, whatever. I put the Tampa Bay Rays at 25 to 1 to make the World Series, to win the World Series. And now it went to 2,800 to 1 basically the day after I put it. So I'm like, well, come on. Like every single day that happens. But I like the Rays value because there hasn't been a wild card team, to make the World Series since 2015 with the Royals and the Mets. I think that's a possibility now. I think Tampa Bay can go 1-1 with the Astros, especially with pitching. And, hitting will do its thing. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but 25 to 1, I think it's a possibility. Pitching is what dominates in postseason. Small team, I think that can be one of the teams. I love their value right now, so that's why I picked them. As far as the Dodgers, they're going to struggle in the postseason if their pitching starts struggling. And Clayton Kershaw, I don't know. So I'm not too confident about the Dodgers making it 3 World Series in a row. I mean, I know the Patriots made 3 Super Bowls in a row, and baseball's a little bit easier. But, yeah, there's that. I just don't really like the Dodgers' value. So I'm trying to find value with some other teams, like the Braves, or maybe the Braves' value does go down. And they did secure up their bullpen in the offseason. So I may, if their value does go down because it looks like they may not win the division, it looks like their playoff hopes are a little bit frayed, then I'll pick them up. So that's just my general betting views. That's my general what I think. Those are my pretty much all my current bets right now. I have some other football over-unders and things, but I thought I'd update you with my my money, where it's at. I am losing quite a bit, but I think quite a bit of money is going to start rolling in as some obvious picks that I think will happen are going to start rolling in. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, sports betting isn't legal in Florida just yet, but I have a feeling it's going to be legal soon. So, yeah, whatever. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if you have any bets or think there's a high value, low value in any team, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.